Hello there, in the name of Christ. How you doing? It's your girl Cranky Karabo. I hope you're good. I'm enjoying sporting my afro. We're not letting it go until the hair gets so messy that it gotta go. But I don't know. I'm really thinking about just sporting my hair, period. Like the way that it is, because I prefer it. I'm tired of wigs. It's hot in here as well. Barely ventilated. Anyway, it is what it is. Are you good in the name of Christ? Well, not that I'll ever get an answer, but good for you if you're good. 1 minute. Very well. It's been less than a minute, just in case you were wondering. Okay, Yashi Salana. Yazin. God, please forbid this phone from giving me a speech lag problem. It's an issue. Alrighty, caveats. Let me just put them out there. I've got these captions that don't make no sense sometimes. Please, just if your hearing is hundreds, rather just use your hearing. I like the captions there because they add to the aesthetic effect and feel of the thing that I'm doing, and it's gonna stick around, okay? Even if it's inaccurate, one day in the future when I've got resources, energy, and not too much pain, I might actually focus on editing them so they're accurate, so they're also irreverent, and they don't necessarily acknowledge God all the time as a big G. Whew, and that's problematic. Akusashi siapa. Yeah, what else? I'm wearing app makeup, I think. Probably. Highly likely. And, so it might, like, bounce up and down like a happy baby. Whew, that's only because, it's fake. And then, what else? God, bring it to the forefront, please. Woo, nyasha. Oh, that means I'm hot. Yo, guys. South Africa. I don't think so. We don't love you. Ah, what beautiful land. For what? For who? Rubbish. Okay, yeah, you've put me in a position to suffer like this. Keep your country. Do that. Do I have any other caveats? No, not really. I feel like we're done. If there are others, I'll come back at you with them. Carve the acne or lack thereof. Amen. Yes, it's cleared. And all I'm left with now is breathing heavy because there's barely any oxygen. Woo! But no acne. Just hyperpigmentation that's fading at the speed of a lightning strike. Oh! This thing must not reveal the stomach. Please, just do what you're supposed to do. Oh, goodness. It's finally doing what I wanted it to do. Okay. I know there's a caveat I'm leaving out, but it's not happening. Why is this even my life? For ing. Yo. Alright, guys, I keep getting these nightmarish experiences. Whatever. Like, there's a war in the world, and I'm like, yes, whatever. We're done. I'm really very exhausted. Every day I gotta say something. So I'm here to say something. Say something, Karabo. Say. That was supposed to be funny. Was it? Did I make you giggle? Are you giggling? Is this a giggling affair? Where is the giggle? Release the giggle from its jail cell, shall you? The giggle wants release. The giggle is feeling incarcerated. Alright, guys, you know what? Oh, yesterday I was sick. I'm still sick. I'm still somewhat. Realize ukuthi le fast is ongi. Oh, what? I'm on a fast. You guys know that it's day 3. I almost didn't carry on with the fast because yesterday I got so weak after exercise. I expended all that energy and then I tried to do my edits. I was basically lying down while trying to work. Even I got like this mild headache after eating dinner. I had fruit before exercise, right? And then later on, I usually only eat once I'm done with all my edits. Guys, I was so weak that I felt like I'm dying. I was like, what? I ate dinner lying down. Like, you know when you're on the side and you take a spoon in because I realized I needed energy and order to recuperate. But I didn't recuperate until practically I had to sleep. The next morning was when I was starting to feel better and not even 100%. I was like, but nobody's taking care of me and nobody out here putting a warm cloth on my forehead when I'm sick. I can't afford to like plunge myself into the abyss like that. It's me and me alone that's taking care of me. Nobody else is taking care of me. I can't afford mina nje ukugula out of the blue. Just bugul. boo cool. Just boo. Falling into coolerization mode. We're not doing it. It's not happening. So there's a change of plan. I was like, yo, the way I was feeling, I was so weak, guys. I woke up still that weak. I was tempted to just end this fast, but I can't because I gotta make war with the kinema darkness. But I realized that fruit are not enough. I need a hard knock carbohydrate, like as in starchy violence, as in violent starch, as in violated starch, as in the kind of stuff that'll make a sister get fatty girl, fatty girl, fatty girl. Who me? Nkampane nagabas dolda then and get kula. I still got work to do. I got work to do. I got a job, baby. Dinomsebenzi mna. I don't have time to be dying or sick. I gotta work out. I gotta do what sister girl gotta do. Sister girl, I know you don't understand, but you're gonna have to understand. I ain't letting myself fall sick now. So yeah, yes, good distraction. There's a distraction on the outside environment, and I'm like, Los may eat and kissing Genny. I don't want to sing, guys. I don't like singing. Yang bora. It's boring. Are you guys bored? Anandava. I don't care. I don't care. Eish. Yeah, ne? Zombie land. Can't be affording to fall sick and stuff, right? I come from sickness and I got so depressed because I wasn't working out. Sister ain't doing that no more. I'm squatting every day, every day, every day. Hey, every day, minang gymmer. Every day, I'm gonna gymmer. I am gymmering. As in like distraction apparently, apora. Oh, kewa kengega to a point of keng. Yo, bottom. Okay. So I decided that before, like right now, it's 17:38 or something, right? 38 isn't. 17:38, guys. It's 17:38. It is 38 minutes past 5 or 20 minutes to 6. I said I'm not gonna sing, so I don't even know why I'm doing it. Oh, there's a caveat I found that I knew I forgot a caveat. CapCut takes, not CapCut, but my silence detector sometimes takes out my words and I ain't feeling it, but it's there and it's gonna stay until further notice. At least you understand the overall message. Finally, I got everything in the door. Woo! It's so hot in here. Does divide hate? That means it's the truth. Please don't leave me, those of you who only speak English. I promise you, once I get into the gist of this, I'm Englishing up. I was all sick, you know? Yeah, so I was like, no more. So I decided to add like a heavy violent starch instead of just fruit, like proper. So basically it's all the meals that I was eating before the fast. It's just that now I'm bringing them up to after 6 p.m. You know what I'm saying? Another caveat, please. I'm so tired of these caveats. There's going to be like a speech lag. Not a speech lag. Speech lag. That's what I wanted to say. A speech lag, because I don't got no phone. I don't have phones. I don't have the phones that I need. I don't have the right recording devices. Ooh, I'm struggling in every regard. But that's just life. We're not singing anymore. We're stopping. We're stopping. Sometimes I feel hot. Sometimes I feel cold. It's like flu. Mad lemon. Yo, guys, I'm getting to the point. So I'm gonna eat muesli. That's what I'm doing. Yeah. Now it's 6 p.m. Crunch up. We're probably gonna be eating it together. Oh, we're gonna be eating together. Enough. Genoeg is genoeg. That's die waarheid. I'm sorry. We're gonna speak English. Alrighty, guys. Yeah. So I'm gonna like eat muesli with like blueberries and some like orange or something with tangerine. If I bring like a starch like oatmeal, I won't try to faint. Ain't nobody trying to faint. Ain't no mountain high enough to keep me from exercise. So we're gonna be eating muesli, and if I don't lose weight, it's again rather that. I gotta keep fasting, but now my fast is for spiritual reasons only, not to lose weight. I'm not trying to lose weight no more. Realize that really, better the devil you know than the one that you don't know. You don't know what the devil of making you feel super weak is gonna do to you, even though this devil is messing with my phone. My phone has got a speech lag. What will I do with this speech lag? Holding me hostage inside. Wait, ga ke batla le bona di undergarments mana motho ka bonga ya go fitla mo godima waist ana re etsang mo video. Cover up, girl. Excuse. I'm not sick. That means I'm not sick. Don't leave me. English speaking people don't go. Don't leave me, girl. I'm gonna eat muesli, guys, so I don't feel weak anymore, because I can't afford to not work out and I can't afford revenge. I'd like my phone to work for me all the time. Oh, I would like my phone to operate. Whoa, but I'm not getting what I want. Whoa, it's rubbish. Alright guys, now that we've said that, the fast, I don't know whether it's working or not. Of course it is. Am I not lambasting on my demon? Every day, busting a cup of the demon. Alright, we're done here. Alright, there's darkness everywhere. I said I wasn't gonna sing. I'm keeping to my guns. Gumnyama, oh, English. It's dark everywhere, guys, you know. Just the Walking Dead. I'm sick and tired of sexual perversion all up in my grill. Like, that's a thing. I'm also sick and tired of zombie vibes. That's a thing. Zombies. Be afraid, be very afraid of me, not the other way around. Okay? Sorry, your English. Alright, listen. Wait again. We're gonna have a conversation. I'm waiting on the Lord God Almighty for whatever the Lord God Almighty will bring into my life. That's a thingy, my bobby. I've experienced a lot of random rubbish in this world, and I'm going to talk about it, right? Listen. No, just listen. Mamelangne, listen. Don't leave me, girl, because I'm not getting to the point. Oh, please, y'all know I always get to some points. So when I was at Wits, when I was like in first year at Wits, there was this guy there, rude randoms. This is what Jesu Christo Organizareta is showing, exposing rude randoms as. Women, y'all need to also get on your knees and ask the Lord to protect you from rude randoms. Have you ever been shellaed by a guy that nyangisas you? Okay, let's convert that to English. Please, we gotta stick to English. Have you ever been pursued by a guy that grosses you out? And he just won't stop grossing the living daylights out of you because he won't stop shellarizing you. I'm funny, got too busy, my sister, oh, but my love, my gentle, oh. And you're like, leave me lost. And then he thinks Uguti, everybody thinks like him. Okay, herein lies the deal, right? And I'm sorry for the speech lag, proper, this phone. It's like my hair. It don't move from the rubbish that it's doing. We're gonna keep it anyway, cause we gotta do what we gotta. Damn, man, I'm not singing, sorry. Okay, like, have you ever been pursued, ladies, by a guy that grosses the living daylights out of you? And he won't stop pursuing you because he thoroughly imagines that the day's gonna come when he's going to create a great, beautiful value proposition about himself until you recognize him as a positive net present value to take up, that one day in the future it's gonna bear fruit. You're gonna see where he's finally coming from, and so therefore you're gonna buy something you ain't feeling today hoping that it's gonna grow on you. Yeah, it'll grow on you like mold. Mold. Wait again, fungi. That's how you be growing on me, dude. But like, nah, to him it's like a growth is a growth is a growth. As long as it's there, even if it's kind of malignant, even if it's a little bit cancerous, at least it's growth. Yeah. Ew. These fosterizationing guys, yo, hasha. My, oh my. Ugh. I know, that's what I'm experiencing as a Christian lady from guys in the occult, guys who are in the world. The way Baba Tlang Banda ba Morena Jeso Gateng. Sorry, English. The way they want God's daughters ngakona. Again, English. The way they want God's daughters so much. It's like, can I keep talking about this indefinitely? Maybe I should just keep rapping on about it. Why? Because it's really a problem, ladies. Like, proper basadi do it. Because sometimes and I apologize, English. I say towe because there's no love. I don't even know what doe is in English, so please cease and desist from attempting to get me to interpret that. It's a real problem, it must be. It's a real wait a second, speech lag. Anyway, fine, we'll deal with it. It's a real issue. So big an issue it is that God keeps on lambasting me with it. It's a real problem. It has to keep on getting hammered down into some like throats, heads, eyeballs, maybe even 4C hair. I don't have energy for this. Yeah. Type of guy to think that she gonna see where I'm coming from. And they draw up a marketing plan so heinous in your sight, yet nonetheless mellifluous in their own, that they're gonna keep trying even next year, because they thoroughly think of themselves as a worthwhile investment. That level of pomp, that level of arrogance, I'm sorry, it has a name. It's called narcissism. Overcome. Proper. Seek the Lord's face to help you get over yourself. Or you're gonna get embarrassed. Oh goodness, guys, on a speech lag. I need to just accept it. Take it in my stride. As long as you can hear the audio, it's all that matters. Life is hard for the cranky. I need so much more than this nonsense for life. But it's a life, you know, we got it. And we got it bad. Yeah. Anyway, guys, y'all, we're gonna talk about that issue again. And I'm going to tell you a story, a disgusting one. Well, it's not a disgusting story. The individual in question being spoken about is the disgusting human being. Alright? But the story is edifying, not disgusting. But we are speaking of a disgusting individual. When I was... Okay, I'm not gonna be singing, especially considering... Why? Is this even my life? Yo, God. How long must this be my soul? I'm a speech lag. Can you even hear me anymore? When I turn left, it takes 10 seconds to turn left. When I turn right, it takes 10 seconds to turn right. And I mean the other right, because that's actually right. Okay, moving on. I'm gonna talk through my speech lag and trust that you guys are okay. If I don't gesture too much, the phone sort of kind of does better by me. Let me tell you the story, okay? As long as the audio is on par, everything else can just jump. Sorry, I had to burp. When my burping is not aligned with my lips, it just like, it catches you guys off guard, and that's not kosher. I apologize, I lack decorum because I'm sorrowful. Maybe when I gain everything that I need, I'll stop burping in public. Alrighty, moving on. When I was at Wits University, you guys, alright, this speech lag, I'm just gonna talk right through it and act like it's not there. When I was at Wits, first year, there was this guy that would follow me from like the Matrix. Every time he would see me, right, I ended up trying to take like a different route. Didn't really work because D1 was on campus in Megangtola. And the thing about this guy, it's important to highlight the details of this guy. He was always on the East Campus because he was a mathematics student. So essentially he was a genius. He was doing some hard knock degree, okay? And you guys know, if you've been at Wits, the East Campus is for humanities, but there is a maths side to it, right? Biochemistry is that side. So too is a lot of like computational mathematics, financial mathematics, actuarial science is on the East Campus. And then commerce is Go West Campus. Humanities is on East Campus. So this guy was largely based on East Campus, and he decided to share his information with me even though I didn't ask, telling me because he thought that this would be something that would cause me to consider him deeply due to the fact that I appeared so off-put by him. Everything else got in 1 minute. Everything else got dibari, right? This random guy, everything else about him was disgusting. That's what nyonta means. I apologize, English speaking only people. Everything else about him was gross and stuff. And I obviously was very kind of grossed out by him. I didn't want him. It was all, like clear. We were not even trying to talk. I was not trying to talk. He was, however. So he saw it fit to give me the rest of his statistics to perhaps help me along in my what he considered to be rebellion against his pursuit. He was trying to help me along, just shuffle me along to see the light where he's concerned. To be disgusting. Has any, ladies, please, I need to find out, have any of y'all actually ever, eventually ended up with a guy that used to gross the living daylights out of you, and then one day you're all up in his armpit? Quapista. If that's the case, Corobela, Baglisile, hi, on occult drugs, witchcraft, that's ihamba kanjani. Yeah, it's one thing to eventually date a guy that, at first you just feel like he's not your type because he's not tall enough. But then he charms the living daylights out of you, making it up for it in other ways. That's different from lo muntu yakunyanyisa. When you see him, you wanna vomit. He makes you, he disgusts you. And then next thing you know, he's girl? Nah, that's Korobel. Anyway, so check yourself, ladies, to see if you is not married to the snolly up your nose. The guy that nyanyisa you just like the snolly up your nose. But he's your man now. He's your husband now. Why am I laughing? This is not funny. Maybe Katseha because I am being abused by people that married snollies up their noses and now they're making it my problem. I'm busy over here all abused in life because I avoided my snolly. I avoided eating my own snot, guys. I did. Because I saw it as disgusting at first, and the Lord God Almighty made it impossible for me to fall in love and marry the snot up my nose, because that's how gross I initially found them. How much I never would go out like that. Yeah, got to be to creating a case for himself, marketing plan the size of a textbook. Yeah, human resources go university. That's his marketing plan, trying to show you all manner and kinds of reasons why you should be his lover. Sure. Have you guys seen the music video Yes See Me and False Soldier? Mr. Soldier, see me, see wala, oh, soldier go, soldier come. I've told you that story before. It's about this lady Oshalonke, a guy osas buying skelemo. No one leaves this romance, only kudita. Yeah, proper cooing strategy. You out here not trying to marry Idi Amin. Maroyak Pesu and he's go have you no matter what. Anyway, this guy was false in that music video Soldier between him and Simi. I'm like, soldier go, soldier come, soldier do what do you want, but don't fall in love with me. Am I stand at attention? That be that dude. I'm like, yasin. I was 19 at the time. Didn't have the guns and the bullets I got now. Kodwa ngina 39 ngamhlanje. Flying kick. Ngazongitshela. These days I'm rocking up with weapons of another nature. They're spiritual. And then get to bulaminage. Dead. D-E-D dead. The way basa khoneng lo spela ka teng editweba. I apologize. Let's move back to English. Mina nyadubula, guys. The kingdom of heaven suffers violence and violent people take it by force like proper. I'm grabbing my Kingdom Salvation. Please, I'm gonna go back to English. I am. Come on, the large majority of this has been English, so hang with me if you speak English. I'm gonna humor you, because this is an important message to all them ladies out here in these streets. I apologize for my speech lag. This Okie at Wits University, y'all. I'm 19 with no weapons at my disposal. He grosses me out. So the first day, he's trying to holler at his sister. Come on. I'm like, hi. No, it's fine. It's okay. Please, lost my 8. Follows me, right? From the Matrix. I'm from I think I was from West Campus or something. Walking, go East Campus. And I went Dastardly the Matrix. Really, like the eating area, hanging out, some chill zone, like at my varsity. Shouldn't have crossed by the Matrix. I should have taken the long drive. I should have just gone through that stretch of road, across that bridge, and just endured the sun and allowed myself to turn 3 shades darker to avoid Soldier. I started to avoid Soldier that way, but Soldier knew what time, more or less, on certain days I would be going home after schooling, basically. And so he started to trap me rando by hanging out by the Great Hall. And the Great Hall is if you come from using the bridge, the one over Jansma, not Jansma, it's the one over Empire. If you cross over there, you will happen upon the Great Hall. If you use the Matrix, you will happen upon the Great Hall. It's like a mutual intersection that you can't avoid. So really, this guy made me walk on pins and needles. I didn't know what to do with myself. Yo, guys, every day, I tried to dodge a D1. I tried to duck him. I tried to kutsa, guys. And nothing. So dololo 0. It was just crickets. My endeavors to be successful. First day, I walked through the Matrix. A double up. Because who does not use a double up? Who does not use a shortcut? And he follows me. And I'm like, one of those, whatever. Okay. This dude, from the moment he talks to me, I'm like, no thank you, brother. No thank you. Please, no, leave me alone, please. Please leave me alone. I'm not interested, man. Oh, goodness, whoa. Oh, goodness. This guy's like, hi, how are you? And I'm like, from the get-go, I'm like, I'm not interested. But this rando then makes a decision to basically give me his life story, and I'm like, I don't want to hear. You know when somebody's just talking to you and you're just walking, and you end up huantaring. You end up walking really fast just to get to where you need to go. And I guess I should be grateful to God on high that he did not follow me out of campus, right? I don't know why he didn't do that. He didn't leave. He never ever followed me out of campus. So my escape was basically to swipe out Kadi Turnstiles there. It's like, you know that Braamfontein Road, that Liberty Life Road? Yeah, that's where I would go. It was the quickest route to escape from this guy, instead of going through the Great Hall and into Senate House and then out the other side. Plus, it was a little bit of a shortcut. So I had to, he made me run across campus, burning, insecure about my skin getting darker because I was always ducking the sun all throughout my life. Being a dark girl, it's a black girl issue. They would know what I'm talking about, these black females. But this dude made it such that I would run in the sun, never mind ducking it. I suga this guy. Anyway, I'm out here running, okay, more or less. But on the first day, I didn't run because I didn't think that I would need to. It was to me, he's gonna pursue, he's not gonna get anywhere. He might follow me fine all the way up until I get to the turnstiles, the gates, the exit point of the varsity. But then I'm cool from there going forward, you know? So the first day he's like, hello, whatever. I ignore him. And all the way to exiting the campus, you know, he's telling me, he's asking me, so what do you do? What do you study? And I'm like, guy, I don't want to talk. You're not going to know what I study. I don't want you, now that you know what I study, hanging out that faculty. I don't want you hanging out by the building where I have lectures and just follow me. So I didn't tell him anything. I was like, no, it doesn't matter. What do you study? It doesn't matter. Where are you going? It don't matter. Nothing matters. I shouldn't have even responded to him. I should have just been quiet, but I kept on giving him rebuff answers. I kept giving him rebuffing answers, basically just ignoring the living day, not answering him in a way that would continue any conversation at all in a respectable fashion. Anyway, whatever, that was me. I'm ignoring him. So he's like, what do you do? I'm like, it doesn't matter. And then he's like, well, I do what was it? It wasn't actuarial science, but it was some maths degree, like financial mathematics, something kind of intense of that nature. And he's like, I do financial mathematics, and he's like, I'm in third year and I'm gonna finish this year, meaning that I'm basically done, meaning that I'm smart, like I'm a genius. One day I'm gonna make lots of money. Like, that's how this guy was shallering me. He was throwing it down my throat. Remember the other day I said to you guys when I was recording a video that I keep on getting like dreams, right, and visions where it is that I'm married to a man that I don't love, but he is unbothered or unfazed. What is going on, Lana? He is unbothered and unfazed. I apologize for the speech lag. With the fact that I don't love him, insofar as I respect him. I made the example even of Muriel's wedding. If you've seen the movie Muriel's Wedding, you know how Muriel is this woman that is wholeheartedly unwanted by her husband, but he marries her because he has a sporting contract with Australia that, absent of him quickly getting citizenship or a green card tantamount or something, he is going to lose his entire sporting career as a swimmer. So he had to quickly marry a woman. That was the quickest way to get that done, so he could continue to compete. And so his agent went looking for him for a wife, and he found Muriel, who was willing to marry him real quick. And on the wedding day, he was very disgusted, like grossed out by Muriel. He didn't like her, he didn't want her, but she was like beaming, like her smile was from here to Timbuktu. She was the only one joyful on that wedding day, that arranged marriage. This guy was grossed out, but it was a marriage of convenience for him. He could not stand the sight of Muriel. And I said that basically I'm facing a future of being like Muriel. That I'm married to a man, he disgusts me, he grosses the living daylights out of me. Every night is a chore to basically humor him or pleasure him because I'm just lying there. And type thing. I made that analogy, I explained, that's what's pursuing me. And then I went on to say that I belong to Jesus. I pray to the Lord for a husband. I know what I'm waiting on him for. And if it doesn't come, then it's fine. But rather than end up married now to a man tandi, grunting on me, sweating on me, that I find disgusting, that makes me vomit in my mouth just by looking at him, I'd rather stay single for the rest of my days. And that is what it is that the devil is seeking out for me. Because of my sorrow, my poverty, my struggles, everything that I'm enduring right now, I must allegedly, apparently, just take in my stride, embrace anything, anything that is proposing marriage to me, anything that is going to offer me a home, offer me a better existence, like these living conditions that I am enduring, all of the sorrow, this phone that is speech lagging, the heat that I'm perpetually endured under, South Africa. In order for me to basically survive or escape these conditions, I now gotta accept being basically the tantamount or equivalent of Muriel's husband. Come on, this phone young bora. I gotta accept or embrace the equivalent or the tantamount of being like Muriel's husband. A woman or man that is entirely unhappy in a marriage can't stand the spouse, but like it's a marriage of convenience and you gotta ride it out for a certain amount of time before you will get what you want. I'm not that girl. I'm a Christian. We don't settle like that in the kingdom of heaven because we trust a holy God to avail to us what we need without us having to bend down to the devilish insistences that come into our lives that might make us bash our fists against God, hate God, because how is this my life? Why is this my life? I'm not going to take myself to that point. I don't want to be a bitter broad. I don't want to be an unloved woman. But I also made mention of the fact that there are men who, because men generally do not insist on love, but respect. Oh goodness, my phone. Yes, what? Because men don't generally insist on love, but they rather insist on respect. Insofar as you can respect him, he doesn't care that you don't love him. Like, there are men who are like that. Abenandaba. They don't care that you don't love them back. They just want you as a trophy, somebody to say that this is my wife. To solidify his status as a man in society, he gotta have a wife. And if you don't love him, it doesn't matter. Just don't disrespect him. Not in the house, not in front of people. Just honor him as a man. And he will not have qualms with the fact that you'd much rather be with somebody else. There are men like that in this world. And frankly, women don't really operate that way. We're wired differently. We want to love. We want to be in love. And we also want to be loved. But men are not too perturbed by the prospect of not being loved insofar as they're respected. Well, this guy was pretty much my first lesson with that about men. That men literally don't care if if you don't have passion, if you don't love them like a fat kid loves cake, If you are not out of your mind, dying, on the floor, rolling around like a donut in some chocolate when he walks into the room, if you don't get those butterflies, if you don't have that experience when you're courting, when he is pursuing you, of love and, you know, the sweet little thing that people do when they're falling in love, men don't care. They don't care. If they've got those strong feelings for you, they will marry you because they've got feelings for you. They have to have feelings for you in order for them to not care in this regard. That's what I'm explaining to you guys. They have to have feelings for you. Otherwise, a man is not going to go and pursue a woman he does not love. He's not going to put himself in a position to be like, you know, Muriel's husband. He's not going to put himself in that position. So he's going to be the one that has the feelings for you. He's going to be one who is in a position. Sorry, he's gonna love you. Definitely. He will definitely have feelings for you. He's not going to harass himself with a woman that he does not love. Men don't do that, but they are hypocrites because they expect women to do that. They love you, and if you don't love them, they say they don't care. They don't care. Because for them, it's about having you. It's about doing with you what they want. Yo, le phone, yar. It's about doing with you what they want. Whatever it is that lovers do, he wants to be able to do that with you. Lay claim to you. That on faithfulness and loyalty. And if at all you can guarantee that, if at all you can walk in that step, you'll be safe. He won't abuse you. He won't lay his hand on you. He won't even talk to you down or anything like that. Just be loyal and respect him. And he will treat you well, like a queen. And he will not care that you don't love him back. That in intimacy, you are not reciprocating, you're not participating, you're not engaged in this deed. He's just merely doing what he's doing, finishing, and moving on. He doesn't care. He will grunt on you for the rest of your marriage and not care that you don't react. You're just like a whole still dead body, a cadaver on the bed. Jay. And he's doing what he's doing, finishing and claring, priding himself in popping babies in your stomach. Like every year you're pregnant, even though you never enjoyed anything at all in the run-up to falling pregnant. There are properly males on this planet that are like that. And I would go so far as to say a lot of guys, if not the majority, are like that. They don't insist passion in a woman. Insofar as they're passionate for her, she does not have to be passionate for him. That women have been getting into arranged establishments for a minute now. The men are the ones with the feelings, but the women are the ones in the convenience. And they don't get beaten up. Nobody thinks of them as unhappy women. They have everything they need. If they want a pair of shoes, they're getting them. If they want a kitchen makeover, this guy will arrange a carpenter for the cupboards, a tiler for the walls. He will give you everything you want. Just be loyal and respectful. You don't gas to love me. You don't have to feel it entirely necessary to hug me for 10 minutes when I arrive at the door. You can just give me a peck on the cheek and that's all I need. Like a woman that is out here properly. What's the word that I'm looking for? Trying to get an Emmy nomination or an Oscar for acting in a marriage where you are smiling and being neat for the cameras. But really, at the end of the day, inside your own heart, gu shubile. Women are not naturally inclined, as much as men anyway, towards a sexual proclivity and to cheating. So there are events of this nature, marriages, I shall call them events, where a woman will literally be married to a man for 50 years having never cheated, nothing of that nature, but she has never loved him. They've got like 5 kids, and these kids think mom and dad are in love, but no, it's not true. The dad loves the mom, but the mom could not care less about the dad, but she has honored him enough to respect him and be loyal and smile for the cameras, winning an Oscar at the end of her life. Yo, I'm sorry. Like, while women do want to be loved, it is certainly very important to us, however, to love back. But men don't seem to care about our desire to reciprocate love. Our desire to be in a passionate romance where everybody is really very happy. They don't care about the woman being happy. They just want her loyalty and her respect. And that is what I am expected to do now that I'm basically almost 40. And yet to be married, suffering like no man's business, essentially a damsel in distress allegedly, and I just gotta take in my stride indoda ezozitshela ukuthi corrupts mabebeza. Girl, what's with the fuss over here in these streets? I will love you. I will never lay a hand on you. I will get you everything you need. I will set you up in a beautiful house. Just don't go out on me. Don't cheat. Be loyal. That's what's good. And smile for the cameras, girl. Like, yeah, do that. Then I'll take care of you. Because you have no other option. Look at the situation around. Abantu bagini treat you like rabiosh. At this point, you feel like I'm my option, sister girl. So, I feel you. I love you. I dig you. I'll take care of you. Just don't go out on me. And given that you're a Christian woman, I mean, you're not going to do that. You're chaste right now as we speak. You are not fornicating because you're loyal to God. So if you're then married, you're definitely going to stay loyal to God by staying loyal to me, because to cheat on me is to cheat on God. And since you love God so much, I guess we're not doing that, are we? How such men pursue women is with their statistics, their credentials, their whatever it is that they've done out here in these streets, because apparently, allegedly, a woman's reciprocity in a union is of no essence at all. It does not matter. That is a violent narcissist gawking at you who does not care about the fact that a woman also gets to be happy. This is not the 6th century, for crying out loud, where arranged marriages are like a whole thing, and the woman getting arranged into a marriage is a perky little teenage girl, while the man in question is a 52-year-old man. It's no longer happening that way. Women get to choose now to be with men that they are feeling right back. And I am expected, because I am religious, because I am Christian, to just take nonsense in my stride. That's the work of a cult. Can we please just correct the difference between Christianity and many of these other religions, where women are entered into a marriage as virgins, and for the sake of honoring their gods, making sure that they don't fornicate, but the men that they marry have been to brothels. The men that they marry, like, that's probably what's been happening with women all throughout the ages. The men that they marry have seen the nether regions of multiple prostitutes. They have got side pieces and all different kinds of dalliances all the way up until they finally marry a virgin. It's been happening, guys. There's actually a show on Netflix that is showing this particular phenomenon, if you want to call it that. And it's based on a true story. A queen, like in the Victorian era, that married a man, a king. He was a prince, right? And upon the dad dying, he would then become a king. And they were hastily trying to rush him along to getting married, so that when he finally inherits the kingdom, he will be a man that has a spouse. And in this show, I forgot what it's called. I actually would let you know what the name of it is. It's not Bridgerton. It is another one, right, of these shows. It's a time done from back in the day. The woman was insisted upon being a virgin, to a point where they even did a test on her to check if she's still hymenally intact. But the guy, in the beginning of the show, they show him in brothels. He's got a duchess that he is having a whole affair with, that is not a virgin woman. So she's like a ruined woman that in that society would never ever get married to any man, because of the fact that she had broken her virginity before marriage. But she could have affairs with guys if they were willing to. And he had made out of her the side piece that he was sleeping with constantly, and he had perused brothels quite a lot. He had slept with a few prostitutes, and then here comes this virgin that was paraded in front of him, and he was now to betroth her. He was now to wed her. And all I could think was, whoa, women back in the day took a lot of rubbish. And that's why I keep saying to women belonging to other religions that insist upon this level of submission in women, y'all need to turn over to Christ. There is a strong case for Christ to Muslims, for women in particular. A strong case for Christ to Jehovah's Witnesses. A strong case for Christ to Mormon girls to turn over to Jesus. Because in Christianity, there is a protection of women. There is a protection under God. The Lord insists that our husbands love us as Christ loved the church. And the Lord understands and comprehends that if these men do not listen to us, their prayers will be hindered. And the Lord has time and time again rescued Sarah in the Old Testament from her husband's indiscretion, where it is that Pharaoh and Abimelech wanted her, and they could just have her, because Abraham was messing up. He was not prepared to own up to what in the world under heaven it is that Sarah was. And God sent a plague, do you understand, on Abimelech and Pharaoh each respectively, to set Sarah free. To set her free. And the scriptures also say that we are not to be unequally yoked with unbelievers. And the Lord also says to us that ask what you want in prayer and it'll be given to you. So as a woman, you get to go to God and ask him for a passion that is reciprocal, where it is that it is two-way, where you love him, he loves you. He longingly pursues you. You can literally tabulate on a piece of paper what you want from him, instead of freaking out as a 17-year-old girl that next year when you turn 18, your mom, your dad might just send you over to some dude's house that's like in his 30s to marry him, and you're just gonna have to be smile and be happy. That's what's good. And this guy will be over the moon with you because your breasts are still perky, you barely have any stretch marks on your body, you are beautiful, you are not about to crack, collagen has yet to decline in your body, you haven't even reached your full mental capacity, you're not even 25 yet, and there is a man that's 37 taking you for a wife, excited to have you because you're so beautiful. But when you look at him, it's like, the dude that you have a crush on in your school, the dude that you grew up with in the same neighborhood that's your age, the guy that you actually really are in love with, also in and of himself has to be subjugated to the tyranny of having you ripped away from him because your parents have arranged for you to rather marry that other guy. That stuff happens a lot. Do you understand? In cults, in religious cults, in Mormonism, in Jehovah's Witnessing, in the Jehovah's Witnesses, and in sections of Christianity that don't understand the Bible. But if you are truly blood-bought and of God, you are protected as a woman. Muslims are they're in a really bad patch, especially if they're chilling in the Middle East. There, they don't even have rights to study. They can't speak their minds. They don't get to fall in love with the guy from next door and actually marry him. They gotta keep on looking longingly with a lot of sorrow at the crushes they've always had while marrying completely different people. And the level of entitlement by men of virgin brides, albeit them being fornicators, is problematic. That's also another thing about Christianity. The Lord insists upon the righteousness of everybody. He insists upon the righteousness of men. He insists upon the righteousness of women. In Islam, apparently, allegedly, there is what they believe in upon perishing. When they die, they say that depending on what you did and how well you did it, when you get to heaven, you will have how many virgins? 20 virgins, 12 virgins, whatever. There is some passage in the Quran that promises guys that have been really good with Allah virgins at death, and multiple ones at that. So polygamy is just freely proliferated, but women are not guaranteed or practiced or promised a prince charming upon death. They just die and hopefully they're right with Allah, and so they will go to what would be the equivalent of a Muslim heaven. There's rarely any protections at all for women. And all these other religions, I had being the operative word, because I got persecuted the living daylights out of when I came to Christ, and all of my girls from high school decided that I needed to be bewitched out of my convictions for Jesus. But I had a Jehovah's Witness friend when I was in high school that married like that. She would have much rather fallen in love. She would have much rather been loved, been in a passionate romance. But she was, arranged marriage. By the time it was time, they just yanked her out of a career, yanked her out of anything at all that was her ambition, and just married her off to some guy. When I saw the photos of that wedding on Facebook, I was like, this is not the kind of guy that this girl would have chosen. I know what kinds of guys she had crushes on when we were growing up. That she ain't happy there. That is not a man that she's feeling. And indeed, prior to her getting married, she was busy making out with all different kinds of guys in the office and all that jazz. And that was because she was basically juicing single days, because she knew that she would one day be marriage to some dude that's going to be looking at her on some inyama emnandi Kentucky. Itambo lamla say Kentucky. When he sees her, she was gorgeous, but she's going to be like Muriel's husband. She was in a cult that married her off. But before she got married, she kissed all the guys that she wanted to. She kissed all the guys, and she just made sure that she was maintained as a virgin. That's the one thing that she made sure never ever got messed up with, so that her church would not give her grief. But she kissed all the guys that she wanted to, and likely even probably fell in love with one or two, but could not take it far because they were not Jehovah's Witnesses. I mean, that level of what in the world? Get trap. So she stood to benefit from essentially abandoning the cult, no matter what they threatened her with, and getting successfully evangelized into Christianity, so she could marry a man that she actually truly loves. The Lord insists that we be godly, all of us. He says don't be unequally yoked with unbelievers. No one who says that they've got the light of God in him and claims to be of God is telling the truth. They lie, and the truth of God is not in them. So a guy cannot just randomly peruse brothels. He cannot just randomly go out here in these streets and sleep with all the girls in the high school. He cannot just sleep with all the women in the office. He cannot just do what he wants and expect to be safe in the sight of God. And the Lord says to us all, don't be unequally yoked with unbelievers. That's what he says. So if you want to honor him, he's going to enable you, right? Therefore meaning that the Lord will always protect you against a fornicating man. He will always protect you against a man that's always perusing the nether regions of prostitutes. He will always protect you against a guy that slept with all the ladies in the office. He will always protect you against the dude that is a player. He's been around. He's seen these streets. If you don't, why? Because he is not of God. He is not of God. He's not born again. He has no Holy Spirit. He has no conviction to hold everything of his manhood in a bunch. And having no such bunch intact in him, you rightfully get to avoid him as a daughter of God. Nobody can force you into that union. No one. God does not even want you with him. He does not want you with him. So cheating then becomes something that you can successfully eradicate. Your husband will not subject you to the tyranny of potentially getting a venereal disease in a marriage if he's truly saved, because he fears and not man. And the standards that you are gauged or judged by as a woman, so too is he judged by the same standards. That's Christianity. All are equal in the sight of God. The only difference is our roles. R-O-L-E-S, our roles. We've got different roles under God, but we are equal before him. And so he expects piety out of all of us. He expects honor and respect out of all of us, meaning that if a woman doesn't want to be with you, the Lord will expect a man to respect that. So a man who doesn't respect that, God will protect you from him. That's why women belonging to cults and other religions have got an incentive to turn over to Jesus, because there they get to expect to fall in love with a man and be happy in a mutually reciprocated relationship. A marriage where everybody is having a lot of fun. That's what's good, because everybody is so in love. Instead of just one person insisting on nothing but respect, and if you just give him respect, that's enough. These guys that will pontificate respect and don't care about reciprocity, they're wired that way. That's how men generally are. Insofar as Nifela, you don't go out on him and he can lay claim to you. They're very possessive. They are like animals that way in the wilderness. Like what do you call this? Like they can urinate on an ecosystem and mark their territory that way. And the thing that regulates that intention or that instinct in men is the Holy Spirit. It is coming to Christ. It is recognizing that you can't just be beastly and be animalistic like that. Indeed, when Eve fell, she was told that her desire will be for her husband. Adam's, however, will be to lord it over a woman with an iron fist. When you are lording stuff over a person with an iron fist, sometimes you don't necessarily expect love, just respect. Not love, just obedience. Not passion or desire, just obedience. And that is a curse on Adam. Like, Papa, go read the book of Genesis. God told him that his is going to be a desire to lord it over Eve with an iron fist, to basically rule her. And usually a ruler does not care about love. They just care about respect, about obedience. A sovereign, or what do you call this thing? A dictator does not care to be loved by his people. He only cares that they should not go out of line. Who in the world is content in a marriage like that? Who? Who sticks around in that ecosystem? Who? Who does such a stupid thing as that? Who? Yeah, females out here in these streets, prepared to marry men they don't love, kiss men they find disgusting, like properly lay with a man that you feel nothing for. And I mean, we all know how it is with us sexually. It's easy for a man to get to the end of himself pleasurably in terms of sex, but for us it involves so much concentration. It's a mind issue. It's a whole involvement. It's a whole full body experience with a woman to get you to where you need to get. Women cannot be like men. You cannot just have sex and think that all you're gaining out of it is pleasure. No, with us the heart is always in it with women. So all of these worldly women saying random stuff like they can actually get cuddy buddies, having sex buddies and whatnot, they're naive. Women are always in it with love. Their hearts just go in there, because that is our curse. Our desire will now be for our husbands. So for then a woman to accommodate a man like that is to basically make sure that she never reaches a certain height sexually in a marriage. She will never get there. It takes a minute to get there. As you know, women should not, nobody should be fornicating. Nobody should be having sex before marriage. But those of you that have had sex before, as women, you know that from the date that you broke your virginity versus the date that you had your first climax was sometimes years apart. Years apart. And that's why women are always faking it in that particular region with guys, pretending to be enjoying it when they're not, because it takes so much more for a woman to get to a height of pleasure with a man, and it is very important therefore for a woman to be into a guy. Very hard knock for her to ever enjoy sex. It's literally, that's just how we are wired, and anybody that is trying to deny that is what in the world? Like, for what? Because you're messing with your own happiness and your own joy and your own peace as a woman. But unfortunately, when you are religious like what I am, I'm more spiritual, I am a Christian, I have a relationship with Christ, but people who don't understand the things of God will call me religious. When you are religious, it is especially anticipated of you by men who don't understand a relationship with Christ that you will honor a man, because that's what Ephesians 5 has to say about you, and 6. Titus is a 2 or whatever. Yeah, the word of the Lord, where it is spoken about relationships between men and women, it is anticipated or expected of you to be a particular way, and so you're gonna do that thing. Therefore, Karabo, just let me marry you. You can't be having sex outside of marriage. Let me take you. I'll take care of you. Except, like, you don't understand. It's more than that. Like, women need more. Let me take care of you. It's not gonna fly. Let me take care of you. Yes, we need protectors. Yes, we need providers. But when you disregard a woman's desire for passion, you are basically saying you will never reach an orgasm ever in your marriage. And guys don't really care insofar as you're really good at pretending, except some women don't want to pretend. They don't want to pretend. They don't want to act. They actually want to be in love. But I'm being pursued. And so too are a lot of Christian women, from what the Lord is showing me, by men who are not even going to care that they are actually sexually happy in a marriage. Like, intimacy is there. Everything, like the whole nine. When we go to the throne of grace and seek the Lord's face for passions in a union, do you understand? With a man that we're going to be partnered with for the rest of our days. They take for granted that women don't easily just cheat. We don't easily just throw ourselves out there. Okay, fine. So it's 2023 and women have started to act a fool, right? But generally women are not as hectic with sexual proclivities unto the nth degree like men are. So even when we are unhappy in relationships, we still stay faithful. I would know. I did that for 5 years. Was some rando back in the day. I wasn't happy. Yes, I was like a peacock, my eye always looking out for another guy that could like kick my ex to the curb, but I never cheated on him once because the standards are quite frankly different. So I could not just go in Jiffel and pleasure myself out there because my ex Yankee Kenya, or well, at the time my boyfriend Yankee Kenya, because there are different rules for us. Spoken or unspoken, whether or not you want to believe it and whether or not you're a feminist, whatever you want to believe, do you. Bottom line is the rules are different for us. And so when the rules are different for us, it is therefore expected by men that we're going to remain faithful even when there is no passion, no intimacy, no love. Type of stuff that eventually causes divorces. And manja, when you get divorced, the Bible says that if your spouse is still alive, you can't remarry. So you're putting yourself in a position to, once you gain conviction in Christ, to be celibate for the rest of your days, even though you're still roaming these streets with passions in your body. So how about you just marry right the first time around? I'm therefore just trying to warn women right now of the phenomenon out there of men derailing women, making sure that they cannot take care of themselves, falling in love with them, and then saying, I'll take care of you. And the woman now having to take that as an option, Jefela, run with it, even though I'm trying to back this guy, understanding Futu Noguti, this person is not going to cheat because she believes in Jesus, and on top of that, she's a woman, so she's highly unlikely going to just easily dive on a man, the way that a man can easily dive on a woman. And so, marry me. And then you walk down the aisle, because you think you're la sauce. And then you find yourself miserable in a marriage with a guy just grunting on you every night while you roll over and curl up like a fetus afterwards. Whoa, oh, whoa. Like cease and desist. I was lambasted by a man of this nature when I was in university first year, trying to holler at me by explaining his credentials or his statistics to me so that I could see him as a viable option to marry me, take me up, just run with me into the sunset or whatever, even though I could not care less about him. Of course, I don't even know what he's doing today, but I feel sorry for whoever he's married to. If at all he's married or is still alive, or if he did not get lambasted by full-blown ace, the way that guy. Like he was crazy. I will tell you that story in the next part. Let me go and grab some food, guys, and eat, because now it's like 18:32, and then we'll do a second part. And how it is that I'm currently being pursued by such dibaris, and how women need to be careful about such dibaris, like proper. A dude out here care less for the fact that you could not care less about him. But like, hey, you got honor, you got respect, you that Christian mommy. So, yeah, I mean, whatever. You don't like me, it's cool. No, it's not cool. Not for the woman. And a Christian man that honors the Lord will understand the need for a woman's reciprocity. He will understand the fact that we are the weaker sex, and so tend to get lorded over. We tend to get lorded over in society by male dominating rhetoric. And to love a woman as Christ loved the church is to protect her from that male dominating rhetoric, and so therefore respect it when she doesn't want you, and not insist on pushing something aside. Battling a Christian man would back off when a woman is that disinterested in him, because the Lord said love her the way that Christ loved the church. Christ is a loving pursuer. He doesn't force anybody to be with him. He doesn't insist that you call yourself a Christian even though it's a whole striving for you to be with him. Like you would much rather be worldly, but I want to go to heaven, so I guess I'll take it. No Christian is like that. We all are happily and passionately in love with Christ because he pursues us lovingly and gives us a choice to adore him, to come in, dine with him. He stands at the door, he knocks. He does not kick the door down. That's not what Jesus does. And so you must anticipate that if Christ says, love your wives the way that Christ loved the church, it means that if you're pursuing a woman, if a man is pursuing a woman and she's like, no, he should love her enough to let her go. Because that's what Christ does. How shapa Jesus Christ got quick current. He's not going to force you to get born again, even though it's in your best interest. He wants to protect you. He wants to provide for you. He wants to give you everything you need, lacking in nothing. And he has offered all of these things to you on a silver platter, wanting to prepare a table for you in the presence of your enemies. But he's not going to force it down your throat. And so to shove a house down a woman's throat, to shove protection, to shove food, to shove clothes, to shove everything that she needs down her throat, in the name of I'll take care of you, I'll protect you. As how bad, when she doesn't love you back, when there's no reciprocity, cannot possibly be a Christian marriage. It cannot possibly foster any admirable Christian marriage that can be gazed upon, looked at from outside by people, and be respected, honored. Because that's not how God pursues. That's how Allah pursues Muslim women. That's how the God of the Jehovah's Witnesses pursues their women. That's how Mormon women find themselves in a polygamous establishment, whether or not they're happy. That is a man that is saying, I've got a house, Mus. I've got cars that I can give you. You can get all the Christian Louboutin heels that you want. Just let me love you. And so far as you don't go out on me. Christ is not calling us that way. Meaning that that's not how you love a woman the way that Christ loved the church. Because Christ does not force any of us. We are happily in love with Jesus. And gladly serving him. Look at my life. I'm suffering. I'm in squalor. And yet I'm holding on to Jesus. Why? Because I'm genuinely in love with him. That is how Christ loves us. But a marriage like that, you find yourself in a cold little room, freezing your bouquet off. Nonetheless, smiling for the cameras. Because, you're that Oscar-winning girl. You're that Emmy nominee. That's who you are. In a marriage with a guy you can't stand. Frankly, you think he's got halitosis. But you're married to him and you've given him 7 kids. And so everybody thinks you're in love. You're grand. I'm going to tell you a story after going to eat now. I'm actually going to eat while I continue to talk about this guy, Walk of It, and what in the world under heaven he done did, and how gross all that nonsense is, and how I'm still currently, right now, this guy from America, he wore that kind of vestige, right? He wore that kind of armament, telling himself, I will take care of you. I'll take all your needs up. I will take care of you. Just say yes. Like Floetry. All you gotta do is say yes. No, it's okay. Next part.